Rob Font, had he just squeaked out 1 or 2 wins that he didn't get, this is a championship fighter right here. This dude's fighting for straps. But you come up short. Cheeto Vera arguably took Rob Font's spot in the rankings and the title shots and all that. And then you get an up-and-comer like Adrian Yanez, very highly touted, jiu-jitsu black belt, who has phenomenal boxing, long knockout streak in a row, a lot of heat on the last fight against, what was it, Tony Kelly or whatnot? Or maybe that was like 2 fights ago. Either way, this is the up-and-coming. This is like the next generation versus the Rob Font, who's been in the game for a minute, but almost feels overlooked. Almost feels like people don't respect him. And that's why this matchup scares me here, AJ. I'm going to let the cat out the bag. I'm picking Adrian Yanez here, but I have to let everybody know this could be a trap game. This could ultimately be, a lot of people are comparing it to Calvin Kattar versus Giga Chikadze, right? Giga came in, new big bad, scary kickboxer, and Calvin Kattar boxed him up for 5 rounds. And it was like, don't sleep on the OG veteran. AJ, let me ask you this question. The only time we've seen Adrian Yanez in real adversity in the UFC was actually to a surprising fighter. It was to Randy Costa, right? And that was straight shots down the pipe that was piecing him up until he got tired and he couldn't do it anymore. Well, Rob Font has phenomenal jab, phenomenal straight, and doesn't really get tired. If he implements that game plan, do you think Adrian Yanez can even be effective in this matchup?
Not really, Derek, especially because a lot of Yanez's attack is forward, especially the later fights he's been having, the more recent fights we've seen. This dude is getting hungry and hungrier for finishes. And you're right, the Tony Kelly fight, he was scrappy, man. There's a lot that goes for Yanez, man, in this fight. And the youth, the speed, the boxing. But you're right, Derek, the straight shots down the pipe, the A to B that Rob Font presents, as well as the experience and the time he has had. I'm glad you mentioned the fact that it feels like Rob Font's being overlooked because he is, man. A lot of people have forgotten who Font is, maybe because he was in the top 5. He kind of fell into obscurity. Not many fights, not many, people clamoring to see his fights. But if you're right, this is a trap. This could be a trap game in the fact that if he puts on a show against Yanez, it will be one of those factors of, oh, damn, who? Rob Font again? Oh, yeah, this dude has fought the cream of the crop. He was a title challenger 2 years ago. So I think this is a really interesting match for both fighters right here. I am leaning a little bit more towards Yanez, but the getting around the straight shots is going to be his biggest factor right here. He does have really good footwork, though. What worries me is the head movement and the how would you say, willingness to bite down on the mouthpiece of Yanez. Is the dog in him. There is a little bit of that. He does like a scrap. I think Rob Font's a little better in a technical match. What do you say?
I think Rob Font, if you look at the last couple of outings, man, he's really, really sharp to start off a round. But it's the end of the round that concerns me. Damage reigns supreme in today's UFC, right? So Rob Font can piece you up. He can land 1 trillion strikes on you. But if he's getting dropped at the end of every round, like he did in the Cheeto fight, what does that matter, right? Yanez, I think he's 4 for 5 in his last 5 in terms of finishes. The only decision came against Davey Grant, which shouldn't have been a split decision. That was a clear decision for Yanez. But the point remains, can Rob Font, that jab, right, that you're talking about, Rob Font is most effective with his jab when he moves forward. So my question is, you might be able to move forward, jab Yanez up for the first 2.5 minutes of the round, but can you do it for all 5 minutes of all 15 total minutes, of the fight? Can you do it? And that's where I have the question, man. I think Yanez, I see it like this. My prediction, Rob Font comes out and he wins round 1. And we're all saying, God damn, how did we not bet on this underdog right here? This is beautiful, plus 140, like, dog, give me that. And then Yanez does what he does, man. And he just starts calculating. He figures it out. He starts pushing on the gas a little bit. And he takes over that forward momentum, digs to the body, up top, slick counters. I think he takes over the fight, man. That's how I see it. Do you see a flaw in my logic there?
No, that's probably the more sensible route. Because you're right. Rob Font does start off very fast, real crisp. Yanez has that gas tank, and he has that kind of warrior mentality where the longer he goes, the stronger he gets. So I can see where you're going for this one. What worries me for both fighters is that early knockout for both of these dudes, man. I mean, when either fighter actually is kind of pushing the pace, going forward, you open yourself up to angles and counterattacks. Both of the fighters are really good at reading those things. So that could be, where a fire meets fire and just gets exhausted, or we're in for a firefight right here. Both are very exciting to at least me, the viewer. What do you think, Derek? Are we going to see one or the other?
I think that we could definitely see a knockout here, but I also think we could see a barn burner 15-minute fight of the night type performance. Now, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer here, but Rob Font, his last knockout victory came against a guy who I love dearly, but it's been very chinny, and I think he lost like his last 5 or 6 via knockout, and that's Marlon Moraes, the Magic Man, right? Prior to that, the last knockout that Rob Font got was back in 2018 against Thomas Almeida, which is an impressive victory, but that was 2018, man. You know, this dude is decisioning everybody. He decisioned Sergio Pettis, right? Bellator champ. Ricky Simone, that's aged fantastic. Cody Garbrandt didn't really age as well. But the 2 guys that he lost to recently, and let's look at the 4 guys: Marlon Vera, Jose Aldo, Asuncao, and Pedro Munoz, right? So you look at those and you look at what do these fighters have in common. They all possess some pretty legitimate fucking power right there, right? I'm not saying the other guys don't, but those guys have that special intangible that when they touch you, something doesn't go right. I think Yanez has that. I think when Yanez touches you, it's just a little bit different. At 135, it's, what's happening? And we've seen Rob Font do the chicken dance multiple times in his last 2 fights. So I don't want to throw the word out there, but I'm going to just put it out there and just so we can kind of analyze and assess. Is Rob Font at this stage of his career, is he a little chinny?
I think so, Derek. I think so. And with a hungry young fighter who has been hunting the KOs, it's very, very dangerous. And actually both ways, man. I do think I'd be more worried as a coach, if I was coaching both of these fighters, I'd be more worried about the knockout for Rob Font. You're right, Derek. We've seen him get tagged. We've seen him get chinny. He even admitted that he needed the year off after his last fight just to get his head right, man, whether that's mentally or actually physically. You know, you're tired of getting clocked in practice and then you see stars. So I think it's worrisome for me, at least. I don't know. We'll see, though. If he does another chicken dance, I think this will be the end of Rob Font, or at least we'll see, you know, how he takes his career going forward.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, that's not necessarily what you want because I'm a big fan of Rob Font. Crispy boxing, man. I'm interested to see how the other factors of the fight play out, man. Are we going to see a takedown? Do we see some jiu-jitsu on either guy's end, some wrestling? Rob Font can shoot, and Yanez is a black belt. So we could, but Yanez also, I think, has underrated takedown defense if Font tries to shoot. Either way, I like Adrian Yanez here, man. And believe it or not, that plus 150 TKO does not seem enticing enough for me. It does not feel juicy enough. I'm actually going to jump on that plus 235 decision prop, thinking that 15 minutes, not 25 minutes, 15 minutes. Some of these guys, look, Aldo and Vera, they couldn't take him out in 25. It'd be tough for Yanez to get him out there in 15. Give me the decision. How you see it?
I see the logic, Derek, and it's sound, you know, very sound logic right there. I agree with you. I'm actually going to go. I'm going against it, though, man. I'm going Adrian Yanez, and I'm actually going to take the KO,
Okay.
And I'm going to take it early, round 2. I just think, man, the momentum and the pressure is all, or the momentum is all for Yanez, and all the pressure is on Font right here. Give me the young guy. Like I said, round 2, TKO, Adrian Yanez.
Yeah, this will be fun, man. Both of these dudes have over a 40% striking accuracy too, man. So when they throw, they land. You know what I'm saying? So, all right, man.